Welcome to the Raising Confident Girls podcast, your guide to raising strong, confident daughters. I'm Melissa Jones, the founder of Girls Positivity Club and a teacher for over 20 years. In a world where girls often feel overwhelmed, anxious, and confused, this podcast is your go-to space. As caregivers, we navigate challenges together. I founded Girls Positivity Club to provide a place where you belong and get the tools to face today's hurdles. Consider this your regular check-in with a trusted friend, offering insights and practical tips for meaningful conversations. I'm here to help you feel confident on this journey of raising a generation of empowered girls. Let's dive in and raise those confident girls together. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Raising Confident Girls. I am so happy you're here today because we have an extra special guest, and I'm going to introduce her as Emily Grace, that is her name, and she is a high school student. She's actually starting her freshman year of high school, which is so exciting, and she loves being creative. She crochets, she does lots of art, she loves to play instruments, she plays the keyboard, she's a tennis player, she has so many things. She loves Pilates, and she's just an all-around amazing girl. And I have had the privilege of knowing her for the last few years because we work together one-on-one, and we have known each other for a few years. And she's also an honor roll student, and just a hard worker and kind and smart and all the things. So welcome, Emily Grace. I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah.
So what she is going to be talking about today is a topic that is really probably top of mind if you have a daughter who is getting ready to start middle school, because Emily Grace has gone all the way through middle school and she is now, like I said, starting high school. So she has a lot of wisdom to share with you as a very recent middle school student who's gone through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And so she's here today to share what she wished she would have known starting middle school. So this would, and like going throughout middle school, right?
Yeah.
So she is going to share her wisdom with you. And so before we officially start, I want to remind you that sharing this, I normally say with parents, yes, this would be really helpful for parents or caregivers of girls, but this episode could even be a really powerful one for you to share with your daughter or the girls in your life, who it could help, especially if they're getting ready to start middle school. So let's go ahead and get started. And will you just tell us kind of like in your middle school journey, what would you say is something that you wish that you would have known going into the very beginning of it? Let's just kind of start there. What would you say would be your biggest piece of advice of, like, let's say a 5th grade? So if you're listening in America, middle school here starts in 6th grade at a lot of schools. So let's say you have a 5th grade girl in your life. What would you have wanted to know right before you started middle school?
I wish I knew that I didn't have to feel like pressured to be what everybody wanted me to be, because like then I wasn't being true to myself, and it just caused like a lot of unnecessary like pressure and like stress in my life, and it just ended up just being like ruining most of my days, and it didn't have to be like that.
And why do you think that you felt that way? What would you say was it other kids? Was it like just kind of the idea of middle school, or what would you say it was that kind of made you feel that you had to be a certain way?
It's definitely like peers and then like my teachers too, because I've always like been like a people pleaser, and I just wanted everybody to be like happy about what I was doing, and I wanted them to like me, or like I got really anxious about like what if they thought I was weird, or like they just didn't like me.
Yeah. And so what would you tell an incoming 6th grader? Like, how do they, like, it's easy to say just don't worry about it, but what would be a helpful piece of advice for them, like, to remind themselves of, or kind of how to do that?
I think a good way to go about it is to like recognize it and be like, okay, I'm feeling pressured by like people around me. I'm gonna feel this, but I'm gonna realize that am I happy with who I am, and I'm always trying to improve myself. So I'm doing the best I can, and that's all I can do.
Yeah. And do you think you were super hard on yourself with like your grades more of like I know you mentioned the teachers and your friends. Did you feel like more of the academic pressure or was it just kind of all around?
It was all around.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's a great idea that you're so self-aware and just recognizing it like you said about yourself and just saying like it's okay if I'm not
Yeah.
perfect. It's okay if I'm not exactly like the other girls. Did you feel like you compared yourself a lot as you were starting middle school, or did you feel like it was something else?
It was like something else. I always just felt like I didn't have to be like them, but it was always like they had to like me in like
Mm,
some way, or like I didn't want to get like picked out of like a group or like just be like
yeah.
out of the ordinary for like because like you want to like fit in middle school, even though it's like not like the best thing to
Hmm.
want. It just really it's more like it's less stressful to like just blend in with everybody because it's like really like a stressful like, social experience throughout middle school.
Hmm.
So it's definitely not good to like push out like that.
Yeah. And so what did you what did you feel when like how could you tell if someone didn't like you? Like I know you really wanted did you feel like you were changing yourself in order for people to like you or was it more like worrying about if other people liked you or if they were going to agree with something that you said or did?
It was more just like making sure people were like I was like likable in some way and that I wasn't being like in their head they weren't like thinking behind my back like oh she's weird, oh like I don't want to like be with her, but I'm just with her cuz like I'm friends with other people she's friends with.
Hmm. And when did you think that shifted for you? Did you feel like that lasted for quite a while in middle school, or when did you feel like a shift in your thinking with that?
It definitely lasted throughout like middle school cuz I definitely sticked with like people cuz it was like easier even though I didn't really feel like they liked me for me. And I just did it cuz it was like the easy thing.
Hmm.
And I only realized this kind of like now looking back at it, and I just realized cuz like every like thing shifting with high school, like you'd want to like start like fresh and you want to like realize what you can do better to make sure you like have more like happy, productive, like warming environment to be because like you always just want to improve yourself. And it's
Hmm.
just looking back and I'm just, like trying to figure out what like to change, what to like mix up, and I'm just like that's probably what made me really unhappy because I was with people that I didn't think liked me. So
Hmm. Yeah. And when did you start to find, do you feel like you're starting to find your people that you feel more comfortable with, or do you feel like that's still like a work in progress?
I feel like it's always a work in progress, but I have found like some girls that make me like happy and feel good about myself. So
Yeah. And what would you say to girls who, or even parents listening who want to help their girls with this? Like, what would you say they should pay attention to as far as like how people treat them?
um I think it's like for like how they treat you, if they don't make you like if they're making them feel like they have to change themselves or that like they just want to it makes them so miserable every single day, and it's just not worth it if it's like even if it's like in the back of your mind it's always just some impact about being
Mhm.
with people that don't make you feel good, and whether it's like quite obvious or not it's still very impactful either way.
Yeah, and I would say that that's something to pay attention to your whole life because really even as adults, like even throughout your high school days and college days and all of that, you and I have always talked about pay attention to how people feel or like how you feel around them and how they
Mm-hmm.
make you feel. And I know you and I have talked about too when people kind of drain you when you're around them, or like you said, you feel like you have to be a certain way for them to like you or treat you as their friend, I guess. It's almost like you feel like you have to put on this mask. And
Mm-hmm.
pretend to be like them or not say something to upset them or question them about things. Um, so I'm really proud of you for really learning that lesson. And I think there are even adults that aren't sure how to do that. So that's why it's so powerful to bring this to your daughter's attention or the girls in your life, or if you're a girl listening, like to pay attention to that and know that it may be hard if you have a friend that you're really used to being around, but it's also okay if things shift, right? So for you, would you say that a lot of your friendships shifted, or was it more you just realized kind of what you wanted out of your friends?
I think I had my standards like really low because I'm not like the type to like be like all like trendy and like go with like the popular girls, or like I wasn't really like one of those to like follow like the groups. So it
Mhm.
was, I definitely like lowered my like, there wasn't much options like with kids because like most of them were
Yeah.
like in these groups, and I had to like really lower my standards, and that took like a toll on like these people making me happy or unhappy. So I think just like thinking like I need people that like make me happy, and I don't need to like lower my standards just because I want other people. Because I'd rather be like alone than have people that are like negatively impacting my mood every single day.
Mhm.
And I
That
realized that I need people like to lift me up and like empower me and like make me happy, and that's the people I want in my life.
yes, me too. Um, would you say that what is it in general do you think that makes friendship hard in middle school? What do you think it's like people are like they want to be the popular kids, or do you think it's like they're afraid of looking different, or what do you think it is just like in general that makes it hard or harder to have friendships in middle school?
I think it's like especially because like the transition from elementary to middle school, like we're growing up, we're maturing, we're like changing our interests, and
Mhm.
sometimes just people don't really like aren't really good for us anymore, or just don't really like people change over time and as we grow and like as we get older, and it's kind of hard to understand 'cause it's like the first time in like a while we're like, okay, these people like are not like how it used to be, and it's kind of
Mhm.
hard to like shed that off because it's like the first time you're doing that, and it's very uncomfortable. Change is hard, and it's like it's really scary losing what you've known for like your entire life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think yeah, that's a great point, because it is a comfort. And even if you know that it's not really that good for you, it's still kind of familiar. So it's easy, especially would you say in middle school, a lot of kids, especially girls, are afraid of looking different or afraid of like standing out in a negative way?
Yeah, that's like a really big part of it because like, you're always like worried what people think about you, and it
Mhm.
just gets like really stressful because that's all you think about in middle school. Because you're like, oh, did I say something wrong? Did
Mhm.
they look at me weirdly? What did I look weird? What was it? What I was wearing? Was it like my hair? Was it my makeup or like whatever it was? And you, it just gets you overthinking and spiraling, and it just such a negative impact, and it's like so horrible to deal with.
Yeah. So what would you say to girls that they should do instead?
Um,
When they're struggling like that, or they're like, "What if they think I'm weird?" Or what if they are they looking at me weird, and are they what if I say something dumb and I just don't wanna raise my hand? So, what would you say that would help them? Like, what helped you kind of get out of that in the moment?
um, I think just thinking that like I'm me, and if they don't like me, then that's like their loss, and I need to be happy with who I am because otherwise I'm just gonna kind of change myself for people, and then it's just gonna end up making you unhappy and feeling like you're fake, and you don't
Yeah.
want to have that in your life because like being true to yourself is like the most like best way to like make you happy, and it just makes you feel like you're whole and like you're true to yourself, and then like it's that's like a lot of big part of like being happy.
Yeah, and also to tell yourself that those aren't your people. If they make you feel that way and they judge you for saying the wrong thing at some time, or they're like making fun of people, I know I wouldn't want to be around people who just put others down or gossip or just are afraid to be kind to other people. So, yeah, I think that's great advice. Switching gears a little bit, what helped you when you were having a bad day and you didn't really want to talk about it? Or what helped you kind of get through that if you were having a tough day and you got home and you were just kind of feeling sad or overwhelmed, or like maybe you were a little different at school and you were trying to work through that. So what helped you?
Probably like two main things. It's like either like like just kind of like sitting with someone like I love, or like my mom, like just kind of like sitting with her, or like just like watching a movie with her, or just like sitting outside with my dogs, like just spending time with people you love. Just like you don't have to like talk about it or anything, and then it's just really comforting, like just not being alone. And then
Mhm.
like also like just changing like what like just like the scenery, like you just want to go out, like maybe go like run errands, like even just like walking
Mhm.
around, like getting your mind off it is really helpful, or like maybe just go like a little shopping spree or something, just like to lift your spirit. And it's like just like a way to like, especially if you can't change it or like improve it in the moment, it's really helpful, like distractions. It's like a way to like lift your mood and just feel better.
Yeah. And when did you, I know you said like you don't have to talk about it. So did you mean like in that moment you don't have to talk about it? You can kind of have a
Yeah.
reset, like you're saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
when did you know, like, because I know you do talk to your mom a lot, and I know a lot of moms are listening. So, like, how did you let your mom know when you wanted to talk about something?
I just told her, can we like talk about it? Or like sometimes when I'm just like really sad, I don't want to talk, she'll come up to me and she'll like
Yeah.
kind of just recognizing that I'm like sad or like I'm like unhappy or like more
Hmm.
moody than usual. Cause then
Yeah.
she kind of knows and she's like, is there something wrong you want to talk about?
Hmm.
And if I want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. And if it's not, she'll just comfort me in any way she can.
Yeah. Is it, as a former middle school student, would you say that the thing to say, does it matter like how parents say it? Like, would it matter how your mom said it? Or is it like, what's wrong? Like you said, her saying, like, what's wrong? Do you want to talk about it? Or is it like, um, hey, I'm noticing that you're a little bit like, what way is kind of the best approach when you are feeling moody or you're feeling like a really strong emotion, would you say?
I think it depends from girl to girl, but
Yeah.
it's like I think a good like safe way is just like, oh, like I've noticed this.
Mm.
You like you've noticed like a feeling, or like I've noticed you're a little like more down than usual. Like is there something wrong, or it's just like just checking in, like, oh, how are you feeling right now? Cuz like then it's
Mhm.
not like pointing something out, cuz sometimes you get like a little bit defensive about that. And it's easier if it's just like, oh, just a little quick, how are you feeling? Because it's more of like a casual thing. And then if they want to open up, they're able to like open up without like any like drama or anything.
Mhm. And do you feel like you have regular check-ins with your mom?
Yeah.
And when do those normally happen for you? Is it like in the car? Is it at night? Is it in the morning? When would you say, I know you said, like you said before, it's different girl to girl. When would you say you liked to be checked in on? Or did it just depend?
Personally, I normally like either when I like just get home or in the car. I think it's like a really quick and easy thing, so it doesn't have to be like a really like deep thing. But if it does, we could like get home and then we could just like sit down together and talk,
Mhm.
or it could just be like a little quick thing, like, oh, are you like happy or you're like sad, just like a nice way, like a quick way, and it doesn't have to be like deep, especially if it's already kind of like a little like a fresh wound, kind of like if it's just like happened in school, it might be a little hard to talk about because you don't really think about it yet.
Mhm.
So it just depends.
Yeah, and have there ever been any other ways that you've communicated? Like, have you ever written a note, or have you ever like found a different way to communicate when it was a little bit harder to talk about out loud?
I wrote her a note. one
Yeah.
time because it was like a little hard to get it out, like just
Sure.
like saying it, because like sometimes it's like the words just get stuck in your throat and like it's really hard, and it's really easy when you just like write a letter, because then it's like, okay, I could give this to her or I don't have to, and I could let it all out, and it makes you feel better whether you give it to them or not at the end.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing to do. And, regardless, it's like you are communicating. Like that's just a different way to do it. And has your mom ever written you a note and, just left you a little note somewhere that was helpful for you?
She hasn't like she's left me like little notes in my like lunch, and like they're always like, "I'm proud of you, good job on this," or like that's like always like the best thing. Just fine because it's just like little things, and just always it's just like you find them and it's like, oh, like even especially if you're having a bad day, it's like the best thing to have a little like small little pick me up,
Yes.
even if it's like just like a little like I love you or something like that. It's like really nice.
Yeah, even in middle school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes parents, can think that in middle school that you're a little too old for a certain thing that maybe they did for you in elementary. But what would you say are still things like you said note in the lunchbox? What are some other little things? Like I know you said a check-in. Could parents do to support their daughters that would be really like easy?
Um, I think just like maybe just like having like a morning thing where you may just like if you eat breakfast together, you could just be like have like a quick like conversation like, "Oh, what are you excited for today?" Just like a little
Hmm.
like a preview of the day so like they could like get something they're looking forward to, cuz normally you're just dreading school, and if you get a little like pick me up before school like thinking about it, even if it's just like maybe like even 2 minutes, it's like you get like in your mind, and then it's not like all miserable.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, it doesn't have to be deep, but it can just be it's kind of like setting an intention today of like and like you said, what are you excited for today? It's just looking forward to something. And were there ever days when you're like, I'm not really looking forward to anything, or were you always able to come up with something?
Some days it's like a lot harder than others. Like sometimes it seems so like gray and
Hmm.
like just so horrible today, and it's like I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get through like second period. And but then like eventually like you just kind of like think about it for a little bit. Like you wouldn't normally do that. You just kind of like go through your day. But like
Hmm.
sometimes you can find small things, like even if it's just like seeing your friend in like class that you don't really get, if it's like a
Yeah.
friend you don't really get to see that much, and it's like the small things. It could be small.
Yeah. It could even be something you're looking forward to after school or something you're excited about, maybe a like you take your music class or your tennis class or whatever it would be. Yeah, I love that. What would you say about teachers? How important were teachers to you in middle school? Like, what were the things that your teachers did for you, like your favorites that really helped you a lot? And like, how could girls connect with some teachers, would you say?
Definitely like find like there's always like gonna be like the mean teachers that don't really care, like they're just kind of trying to get through their day. But then there's like the
Mhm.
teachers that like you always find that like at least one teacher that's always just like says hi to you and actually like cares about like how you're feeling, and they're like, "Oh, good job in this test," or like, "Oh,
Mhm.
how's your week? How was your weekend?" And then it's just like it feels like they actually are like human, even though they all are human. They just treat you like a human and they treat you like a person, and it's just a good thing to like just like feel. It's a really refreshing thing, especially when you're going through your school day and it's like you feel like you're stuck in a constant loop, and they kind of break it by just like making you feel a little more lighthearted and like yeah.
Yeah. And I think people take that for granted because it's like you assume, you meaning some people assume that because they're in middle school, they don't want that anymore. And if you think about it too, it's like really at any age, people just want to be seen and feel like someone actually cares. And so I love that you said that. It's as simple as a hi, how are you? How was your weekend? Or like knowing what activities you're in. Not that they have to know your life story, but like, hey, how was your tennis match? Well, you're going to do amazing in high school. I just know it. And I love that we get to keep talking and keep, you know, going through the journey, and I'm sure you'll have lots of good advice for the girls as you are really going through high school. It's going to be cool where you can share how it's going and different lessons that you're learning along the way. So I can't wait to have you back once you start high school and see how it's going.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you all for listening. The best compliment you can ever give is to share this with a parent or caregiver of a girl that it could help, because that's the intention of this podcast, is to help as many families as possible. And this one is extra special because this will be a good one. Like Emily Grace said, all this good advice, all of her wisdom could really help your daughter. And a lot of times it's much better hearing it from someone who's been there and they're not an adult yet. Like they're still in those years that are really close to your daughter. So please send this to her because I think it could really help her, whether she's just starting middle school, if she's in the middle, or if she's in her last year of it. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining another empowering episode of the Raising Confident Girls podcast. Share today's insights with caregivers and friends, building beautiful relationships with strong girls. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're not just a podcast, we're a community. Follow Girls Positivity Club on social media for more empowering content on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. This podcast empowers you, supporting incredible girls. Let's create strong, beautiful relationships with the girls in our lives. I appreciate you listening today. Stay confident, stay connected. Until next time, keep raising those confident girls. You've got this.